Come on, there's like barely any change.
I thought it'd be like...
No, this is what I mean.
And then some fucking
but
crazy...
then she also did a Jolene cover.
Little cover intro. That's fucking stupid, isn't it? what are you doing? I saw an article recently about how Taylor Swift... Is it a Taylor Swift thing?
No, this is a massive, like, proper story.
Oh. Maybe I'm obviously just not thinking about it.
What was the Taylor Swift?
She was on a beach. In a bikini.
Oh, how dare she? Taylor Swift in a bikini at a beach,
having some beers on a beach with her boyfriend.
This is getting worse and worse. She's drinking alcohol.
People were furious. That is the end of the story. I hit the button, but that's literally the start of the episode. I know. I don't know what to tell you. That's horrendous.
We might as well go with that because that kind of...
I mean, it fits what we're dealing with here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, hello, everybody. Sorry for no episode last week. We had technical issues with my laptop. And then if we get jittery, which at the moment we feel fine, but throughout the episode we might get a bit jittery when I click on anything. I don't know what that is. My super impressive laptop has started being a bit crap. But that's what it's all about. Roll the intro.
Just a botched job. Epic performance.
Hey, it's a podcast. That was probably the quickest we've ever got into the intro there, and it was messed up as well.
Yeah, it might be good.
How was your 2 weeks?
2 weeks. It was good. It was good. A long 2 weeks.
You had 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, just standard.
Fair enough.
How about you?
Yeah, same. Had obviously ice hockey has been bad for us now for a few games. Made a t-shirt from one of the games because our coach got kicked out and that did very well. So if anyone's interested, go to IAAS.tv if you like ice hockey. I was pretty proud of it, B, I'm not gonna lie. The only disappointing thing I have is that everyone in America has got theirs before mine.
Because it ships from America.
No, it ships from the UK.
What?
I know. But I'm watching the orders and everyone's orders are getting complete and I'm still waiting for mine. But that's the I'm Not Going t-shirt available at indianashow.com, so check that out. I'm very happy with it. But
I thought you're plugging it here. How many people here are randomly going to be flyers?
Yeah, but if I
clip
clip
it,
it,
well, let's check that out.
Clip it and pop it on the top.
Oh, that's a good point.
And then it will just go to the Flyers fans. Because, and here's how it all came about, that whole thing happened. The hockey universe loved it. They were like, this is a cool thing that's happened, right? As a Flyers fan, I was like, well, I need a t-shirt of some sort of that.
And it didn't exist.
It did not exist at all. There's no John Tortorella-based merchandise, really. So I made it. So there we go. That's about it, really. I've got nothing else to add from this week. Nothing's really happened.
Oh, see you next week.
Yep, that's the end. But I'm excited to be back. Obviously, we didn't listen to any bands, so we got some bands to discover this week. I'm being told by my laptop there's a very high pollen count. So if you're affected by pollen, check that out. Should we do the music news?
Yeah.
I still haven't made you a jingle, by the way. Can I tell you why I haven't made you a jingle?
Why?
I wanted so on a lot of the things we use. Actually, no. This is when I've used music one-off to go behind something. I use royalty-free music, right? So it's all of the stuff that's just in the public domain. It's always not great, but it serves a
Benny
purpose.
Hill.
Yeah, or it'll be like during the award show, we had a bit where it was like Star Wars text.
Oh, yeah.
So we had Star Wars music, but it wasn't Star Wars music. It just felt like it was. There's no royalty-free music for like a news. And it's such a like genre of music. Like, some generic. So I don't know if there's someone who can produce a little 5-second news intro
jingle
and just send it to us. That'd be amazing.
Well, I suppose we've got to address it because probably the biggest news story that happened in the last 2 weeks.
I have no idea what it is, but can I try and guess?
Well, the thing is, this is the weird thing
I
because
saw one.
It happened at the same time as another big event.
Oh, okay, no, it's not this then. I saw an article recently about how Taylor Swift. Is it a Taylor Swift thing?
No, this is a massive, like, proper story.
Oh, maybe I'm just obviously just not thinking about it.
What was the Taylor Swift?
She was on a beach in
this just in
a bikini.
Oh, how dare she? Taylor Swift in a bikini at
in a
at
bikini,
a beach.
having some beers on a beach with her boyfriend.
This is getting worse and worse. She's drinking alcohol.
People were furious. That is the end of the story. There's no headline.
How dare she?
She didn't glass a fan or something.
How dare she wear a bikini
I
at
saw
a beach
two
and have some
separate-
drinks
two
with her
s-
boyfriend? With her boyfriend, no less.
2 separate news articles posted about that. And it's always the same. And they're like, many are outraged, and you're like, who?
Yeah,
Who? Daily Mail?
just,
Who's
like,
outraged?
That journalist.
I don't know if it was Daily Mail, by the way.
that journalist and about 5 people on Twitter.
But even the journalist won't be outraged. But they always talk about this mystical group of people that's outraged by this thing.
Yeah.
Everyone was very upset about Taylor Swift in a bikini having beers, and I was like, I wasn't. So not everyone.
Well, that's not the,
that isn't the
that's
big
not
one you're
the
on
news.
about.
The big news I was on about is the P-diddy massive essay situation that's happening that is on par by the sort of stories as the sort of whole Epstein situation. Apparently it goes back decades and decades of like trafficking allegations and all sorts of stuff. But I don't want to get too into it because we're at the stage at the moment where I think it's still...
Anything can happen.
It's early processes in it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think FBI have raided 2 of his houses. And the last I heard, he was on the run. Like, no one knows where he is. He's just disappeared.
Really?
Yeah, apparently, like, they were tracking one of his private jets that they thought he was on. Right? That was, like, traveling to, like, I don't know, one of the islands that America owns.
Okay.
Like...
Canary?
No. No. Like
That's
Jamaica sort of area.
No.
I'm not saying they own Jamaica, but it's they own one of the... There's islands around there that they own.
Cuba?
Maybe? It might be Cuba.
Do they own? I don't know. Oh, right. We're
No, there's a lot of
this,
no,
aren't
but there's
we?
a lot. No, there's a lot of like people go on about the British Empire and stuff. America did a bunch of it as well.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
with like some of the
No,
islands around.
What I'm
Hawaii.
saying.
Hawaii is
Oh,
an
yeah.
American state that is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
What I was saying is though, I just don't know or care about what America owns, so I have no idea.
No.
But okay.
But it turns out he wasn't on that plane.
Just
And
not
then
like
he was,
Cancun.
and then he was pictured, like at an airport in like Miami or something. So I don't know what's going on there. But I thought we'd
Wait,
just...
can I add to that though? The Diddy, because I did see someone posting his mugshot came out,
Mm-hmm.
and loads of people were like, "That's clearly not him."
I don't know.
There's this whole conspiracy theory because, like, and I will say sunspots exist, right? So they do come up and flare up. But he had like these moles across his face, did he? And then the guy in the mugshot didn't, and like the structure of his face was a bit different. So a lot of people were like, they think that Diddy's just found.
Maybe he's a shapeshifter.
Oh, maybe he's a lizard,
He might be a lizard.
like JT.
Because we were talking about...
Well, yeah, that was off air. I'll put on Justin Timberlake's just on a Tiny Desk. I'm a huge fan of Tiny Desk, by the way. I love them because I think they're very insightful to what people are
That's
like.
the YouTube channel thing that they do, not
the
just small
impractical
desks.
impractical furniture.
Right, yeah.
No, that's NPR.
NPR.
NPR. What NPR? What
I
NPR?
don't know, music?
Radio, maybe. They do Tiny Desk, so check them out if you haven't seen them. They're fucking huge, so you obviously have. But yeah, Justin Timberlake's just done it, and I quite like it. Musically, it's quite good, right? He's got a big band. They're having fun. But you said exactly what I said to my wife.
He's not a real person.
He's not a human,
He's
is he?
not a human being.
He's a lizard.
Like, just watch him. Just watch him do anything. Interact with anything in an interview or whatever. Just on
He's
stage.
not real.
He's not a real person. I said that I think he's the Daniel Radcliffe of the music industry.
which is absolutely like I cannot imagine.
And what I mean by that is, I want to say I'm a big Daniel Radcliffe fan. I love Daniel Radcliffe. I grew up like reading the Harry Potter books and watching the Harry Potter films, and I like Daniel Radcliffe as a person. Whenever I see him on an interview, he seems like really down to earth, really cool. But when I watch him in any film, he is incapable of acting like a real person.
Yeah,
I don't understand how he does it. As soon as a camera is on him, it's like an android doing its best to be a human.
What you have to ask yourself is, can you imagine this person eating a pot noodle? Right?
Yeah, and I can't.
I cannot imagine
Daniel. If Daniel Radcliffe was in a film where he has to eat a pot noodle, and the direction was just, okay, Daniel, we just needed to eat this pot noodle.
He's like, okay,
somehow he would make it look like.
It would be weird.
Yeah,
It'd be weird.
It wouldn't. He would, and I get that. When I watch Justin Timberlake, it's the exact same vibe.
I won't put it on.
I don't understand it because, like women will often list who the sexiest and coolest and smoothest men are, and I'd like to think that Justin Timberlake, I've seen him at the top of those lists, but then when I watch him, I'm like, I don't understand. He's like a goof. He's like the goofiest person on the planet.
Yeah, he also, in the Tiny Desk, he's wearing this cardigan, which I think he wears a lot of cardigans. Like, he looks like a grandma. He looks like a sweet old lady. It's really odd. He's cool as hell, though.
And again, this isn't a jab at him. I like Justin Timberlake. Every time I see him on an interview, he seems like a real cool, down to earth person. I'm just on about when I'm watching him perform or something. He's like a lizard person.
Yeah, I don't get it. I completely agree. But yeah, so maybe P-Diddy's a lizard as well. A little shape-shifting lizard. Will that get us canned off YouTube?
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Other news. This might be good news.
Taylor Swift.
It's Lizzo. Lizzo allegedly quitting the music industry. Now, I brought this up because obviously we're not big Lizzo fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the whole thing, she's like released an Instagram statement, thing that's like this big paragraph. But essentially, she's tired of all of the online hate that she gets.
God.
Not just from her appearance, but also her character, right? But I'm just like, I'm so annoyed. I'm so done with Lizzo, right? Because one, before all of the controversy, right? Controversy.
You could have said controversy as well.
Controversy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I said controversy.
No, you're like controversy. It was like very. Anyway, yeah. So she got in trouble.
Before all of the controversy, right?
Mm-hmm.
No one gave a crap about Lizzo. She just released music and made a lot of money. She was really successful.
Yeah.
Just releasing music, right? Then she started showing her true colours, basically. She started being in the public light. She was a bully. Yeah. She kept trying to force people's opinions on how they should look and how they shouldn't look, right? And then judged people for questioning her weight, right? Yeah. Which I don't know what's going on. And I've talked about this before. Adele used to be a big girl, right? Yeah. I'm like, obviously there are people that would fat shame her, right? But there's no world that exists where Adele encountered the same sort of hate. Right?
No, yeah.
She was just everyone loved Adele, right? The reason people don't like Lizzo is because she's a fucking cow. She's a bitch.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible person.
100%.
Like, I don't understand. And I don't want to attack someone, but don't sit there and say I'm quitting the music industry because all of the hate I'm getting, right? When you're literally bullying people all the time, you've literally got sexual harassment claims against you, right? And body shaming.
Exactly.
People literally accuse her of body shaming all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening?
All that I can think, though, and again, this is the cynic in me.
It's just drumming it up.
She probably has an album coming out. She probably has an album, and she'll come back and be like, you know what? Actually, I've beat the haters, and it's like, shut up.
But the thing is, you can't have it both ways, though. Like, she's incredibly successful.
Yeah.
So people weren't fat shaming her before, but then now all of a sudden they're fat shaming her. How does it work?
Right. Yeah.
She's already become super successful, sold millions of albums, whilst being fat.
Yeah.
So what is the message you're putting out there?
But you've hit the nail on the head as well. You get what you put out. That's how the world will treat you. So if you are a fat lady and you just make music and you crack on with it, people will just rate you on your music because that's what will happen.
Yeah.
Adele wasn't a fat lady. That's unfair to say.
No, but she was overweight.
She
was overweight
100%.
or whatever.
But as you say, with Lizzo, the problem is that she was like, I'm beautiful, you have to love me, I'm the perfect woman, I'm the beauty standard. And then, as you say, he's also got all of these people coming out being like, oh, she's vile, she hates fat women, she makes you feel like terrible. So it's like, yeah, you're what's happened is you're a bad person.
Yeah.
When you're a bad person online, people will attack you. That's how it is. People will also attack you when you're a nice person. There are just trolls. But the problem is when you are a horrible character, people jump on that.
Yeah.
I won't actually go into detail. There's someone who posts videos that are like really positive videos, right, on TikTok and Instagram. They'll just, here's my day, follow me, look at this, all good at it. And all they get is hate. Right? And everyone's like, why do they get hate? But if you trace it back, it's because they said some real messed up stuff before. So everyone has remembered that and gone, you're a horrible person. So they just get hate. It has nothing to do with any of their characteristics. It's just because they were horrible. They were spiteful. People don't like that. So it's like...
Well, and it's also, again, I'll go back to the example of... we have a reporter in England, and she's quite a big black lady, right, called Alison.
Oh, yes.
I can't remember her second
Hammond,
name.
Didn't it?
Alison Hammond? It might be.
I think it's Alison Hammond.
Right. She's a big girl, right?
Yeah.
That's fair to say. Right?
Yeah, Alison Hammond.
She's fantastic.
She's so good.
Absolutely
she's so funny.
amazing, right? Everything she does, she's just super positive. She's super likable, super funny, right? And you just kind of, I don't know, everything I've seen her in, she just makes me smile, right? I don't see the hate that, like, I mean, surely, like, obviously she gets it. Like, if you're an online personality, you're going to get hate regardless of anything. But I don't see, like, most of the comments of every single TikTok of her I've seen are overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah, because everyone loves her. She's great.
And it just goes to show that you can be overweight. Like the majority of people aren't going to attack you because you're overweight. That might be something they cling on to after they've already decided they don't like you.
If they don't like you, they'll use whatever they can. 100%.
Exactly.
Of course they will.
But, I don't know, Alison Hammond is a good person and people don't latch on to her weight necessarily in mass.
Random.
And instead, they just comment positive things. It's like people like Alison Hammond.
Bit of a random point. She'd be great on Taskmaster.
Oh my god, that would be so good.
Yeah.
Oh my, she would be so good on Taskmaster.
Because there's probably American people here that have no idea what Taskmaster
No,
is.
I feel like Taskmaster's getting... I just saw Greg James.
Yeah,
Greg James?
What's he doing?
Davis.
He's on
Greg
it.
Davis and Alex Horn were just on Seth Meyers.
One of the... Yeah, so, okay. So, okay, all right. So if you're American and you watch Seth Meyers and you're like, who's this giant and this little ferret guy? Taskmaster, it's the best show ever. They get a group of comedians or TV personalities and they give them a task. They all have to do it, but it's hilarious. It's brilliant, and they'll find like innovative ways of doing the task. You just have to watch it. But we've hit a point where the lineups have just gone to hell.
Yeah.
Have you seen the latest lineup?
I haven't, but I've been put off like the last few.
I've told you the last couple of seasons. You'll look and you'll be like, oh god, what have they done? Because when they moved channels, it became very like equality driven, right? It's great to have representation, but if you book people because they're a they them or because they're, you're probably not booking them because they're funny or because the chemistry works. That's my only concern. The last couple have been very good. They've actually got people that have gelled really well. But the one that is about to be released, the only notable person for me is Nick Mohammed, who played I can't remember his name in Ted Lasso. He's the villain guy, the Kit guy that becomes a manager.
Right, what is his name?
I can't remember what his name is, but he this Wonder Kid.
It's driving me crazy that I can't think of
what his name is at all. What is his name? Right, he's the Wonder Kid, who becomes the manager of West Ham. Right. We have to get it. This is just dead air at this point.
No, I know, but my brain's done that thing where it now won't let me think about anything else.
I know. Oh my God! Right, Nathan Shelley.
Oh, Nate the Great.
Nate the Great. Christ Almighty.
Jesus.
He's in it anyway.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I don't think they have to. You don't always have to know people, because there's been series that I've gone into with Taskmaster where I haven't really known anyone, and now they're like my favorite people.
Yeah, I do agree. But and that's why you need to watch them, because some of the guys that have been recently on it are amazing. There's a comedian called Sam Campbell. He was brilliant on it. So you may just need to catch up, I reckon. Yeah, so if I read the names, Steve Pemberton, Nick Mohammed, Joanne McNally, Sophie Willan, John Robbins, right? Even when you pull them up, I'm like, I don't know any of those people apart from Nick Mohammed.
He's doing whiteface.
Who, seems to be dressed as a vampire in it. But anyway, we'll see. Maybe it'll be good. Anyway.
No, but like, Americans might know about Taskmaster, right? But it might be bad. It might be a bad thing, because they tried to do a series, an American series.
Taskmaster have licensed all over the world.
It failed big time though in America.
There's like Scandinavian Taskmaster, Australian,
Do you know what's funny, right? Is all of the other Taskmasters, I think they did really well.
Yeah.
And I think, do you know why? It's because if you watch, like, let's say, for example, the New Zealand Taskmaster, right? It is an exact carbon copy of our Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Right? 100%. All they've done is they found a New Zealand version of Alex Horne, and they found a New Zealand version of Greg Davis.
Yeah.
And then they've kept the exact same formula. Whereas, I don't know if you've ever seen the American one.
Have not.
Is
it bad?
It is unbelievably bad. I don't understand how every time America pinch one of our shows, right? The only time it's worked, off the top of my head, the only thing I can think of is The Office.
Which
and that's because, but I think I need to give it a try, because I watched the first season, and the first season was
it's a carbon copy,
a shot-to-shot carbon copy. And I know it's weird because I've just said that Taskmaster works because it's a carbon, but I mean the formula.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, that's a show with different people and different scenarios, so that it's not really copying.
It's not a script.
Yeah, it's not a scripted show.
You've not reprinted the script.
Whereas, that like, Office is a scripted show, and it was a carbon copy. But I think that's eventually why it worked in America, because they kept the essence of, like, Ricky Gervais's The Office, and then just Americanized it.
Yeah.
Whereas with Taskmaster, like, they've completely changed. It's more rapid fire. Like, even just, like, the editing, it's, like, super quick paced editing. There's adverts every like 2 seconds. But then also, like, just the comedians, air quotations, comedians that they choose to put on it, they're just abysmal.
Which I've said before, Taskmaster, if our Taskmaster got on some of the American comedians, there's such a huge pool of amazing people that could be great on it. Do you know what I mean? Like your Shane Gillis, Bert Kreischer, Bill Burr, and they're all different personalities. Theo Von, like, those are people that would take different approaches to them, be really interesting, but also have a bit of chemistry. So there's such a huge pool that you could pull from. Christina P, Tom Segura, but I would love to see that. I'd love to see a Taskmaster USA, but it's our hosts and, like, the top people. Because the only time they've ever got anyone from North America, that'll be the most random people you've never heard of that are just trying to break it over here.
Yeah, well, and sometimes they're good.
Sometimes.
Other times not.
Has Milton Jones ever been on Taskmaster? I don't think he has.
But
anyway,
my overall point was just the fact that, obviously, like,
Lizzo's a prick.
Being overweight, right?
Yeah, sorry.
There's so many people that are overweight in the public light, and they're not constantly bombarded day to day, every day with hate.
Yeah.
Lizzo is just a bad person.
Yeah. Who happens to be fat and ugly.
Yeah. I'm not going to say ugly.
I am.
But yes.
I'd love to be sued for that. And then I'm just bringing up pictures of her with a laser pointer. Exhibit A.
Next point. Yeah. Billie Eilish has spoken out, right?
Good.
About artists that release multiple versions of their album on vinyl. And I just wanted to see what your opinion was about that, because I think the point she is speaking out against is encouraging people to buy more than one, like, of your albums.
Bad.
Yeah.
She says bad.
She says bad.
Yeah.
And I tried to catch her out. It appears she's never done it. She doesn't have any, like, limited edition vinyls. Good. She just has the vinyl. Like, here's the vinyl. Which you can buy the vinyl.
I'm surprised about, because I would almost assume that would be out of her hands. Like, if someone from whatever record label she's under popped it into a calculator and gone, oh, even if 20% of the people buy them.
Yeah, whatever, like,
do you know what I mean?
Whoever record label is now been like, why aren't we doing multiple versions?
Yeah. Yeah, what an oversight. And then they'll be like, and then the controversy, if we do it now, will be through the roof. Well, here's my take on it. This isn't going to equate to vinyls either, right? But one of my favourite bands from a very small window, they only operated, I've spoken about them before, and I won't say who they are, but there was an indie band when my band were about that kind of popped off for a little bit, and they had one album released, right? But when I listened to that album now, the 2 tracks that they are most known for weren't on that album, but instead were on the deluxe version of the album. So when you bought the album, it was like £8 for the album or £12 for the deluxe, but it was because the 2 best singles weren't on the normal album.
See, that
is fucking hate it.
That is douche.
That is douche. That is douche for sure.
And don't get me wrong, right? Because I have deluxe versions of, like, albums that I've bought. And I even hate that. And don't get me wrong, it's not as bad as that. Like, I feel like the deluxe version of the album I've got has just, essentially, it's just got B-side tracks.
It's got bonus tracks on.
Yeah, it's got tracks that they thought weren't good enough for the album.
And this is a weird person to bring up in this conversation, but Taylor Swift has done it before. You listen to the deluxe version of the album, and some of the albums, it will have double the tracks because she puts her demos on them. So she'll put the recorded demos, and I'm like, that's cool as hell.
Because then it's like, look, we don't need all of that stuff, right? But if you want there's like essentially a whole nother album, of stuff that I didn't think quite fit the actual album.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah,
but I do agree, like, a deluxe album that just adds 2 songs or 3 songs to it, that is a piss take.
But just put it on
the fucking
as
album.
Well. They should have been the singles. Yeah, they should have been the singles, and they weren't.
And if they're like, if you've got a couple of songs that maybe you're like, I don't know if this fits the album, or maybe they're not good enough for the album, have them as hidden tracks.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, I like that, but
it's
then
cool.
Do you know what the issue is?
Well, people might not know, because like Kings of Leon have done that right before, and I remember when the first time I bought the album, I didn't know for the longest time ever that there was a hidden track at the end of it, Tally in the Sky.
Yeah.
I just thought there was an error, because, like, every time I play it, I'm like, oh, this.
It just doesn't.
It goes on for ages, but there's like a minute and a half of silence before Tally in the Sky starts.
But now, if you listen to that album, like digitally, it will just jump straight to Tally in the Sky as well. I'm pretty sure, which is like
I think so, yeah.
Whereas if you had it on the CD, it had a big gap. I do agree. The issue is though, and this is why now Tally in the Sky will just be there. You don't have to wait. People don't listen to music through albums anymore. People want the radio. They want one song. They want, okay, I'm going to hit shuffle and randomize the order. Whereas like you and I think a lot of musicians would lean to give me a whole album. There's nothing more I love than just listening to a whole great album. To the point I was driving home from work the other day. So I'm going to out myself a little bit here. But I was like 2 songs away from finishing a great album I was listening to. So I just didn't turn off the road and I just kept driving.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
I added like 10 minutes to my journey so I could finish the album. What was awkward was I messed it up and then the album ended and I was still driving. So I had to just sit in silence.
I'm driving in silence.
But I wanted to feel. You know what I mean? I wanted to feel the feels.
Good stuff.
But
anyway, it's not like a massive news point, but I just thought it's interesting because there are multiple ways to look at it.
Yeah.
Because you can be like, well, I think artists should be able to gain as much money as possible, especially in like the current climate of the music industry and people not buying as many albums. But then I also think it is a bit kind of predatory to to sort of be like, especially considering a lot of these people's fan base are young. To be like, oh, there's 5 different versions of this album. Make sure you get them all.
Can I
different color vinyls and
who did that? We briefly worked in a record shop together.
Yeah,
and there was no.
There's loads. There's well, here's the thing. So there's I feel like it's quite normal to have a limited edition album.
Yeah.
Right, where it's like it will be like I don't know, like marble. It'll be like a marble vinyl or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's a purple edition.
Yeah, but is that not kind of what we're talking about?
Yeah, and
like
that's
Billie
what
Eilish's point.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think I kind of agree. I
agree with her.
But there have been artists like you were just about to say where there's like 5 different
was it
versions.
Ariana Grande?
I can't remember.
I can't remember who it was. It might have been Ariana Grande, but because I remember that there was like a book and CDs and all of this that came with it, and someone came in and was like, "Oh, I bet you're really short on these," and we were like, "No one is buying these. Like, no one is buying these."
Here's the thing. I think if you've released a vinyl, right, and let's say like 5 years later, right, that vinyl was huge. It was massive. One of the biggest vinyls of like the last decade.
Yeah.
I think then you could maybe release like an anniversary edition or something, or like, a limited edition after the fact, maybe.
And maybe
like to celebrate how big it has been,
though,
or whatever, and that can be a different color, limited edition.
Different color.
Do you
think that justifies it? A different color.
Well, I think I don't know.
I don't think you get enough from that. I'll shout out one of the award winners from us, Sophie Janna. I saw that this isn't vinyls, but she has an album that if you order the first X amount of, she like hand stamps and paints the covers.
Oh, that's cool.
So you get the CD cover and the art is from. I'm like, that's the sort of shit artists need to be doing. Like if you released a vinyl and you were like, obviously Taylor Swift can't do that because you have to do 100,000 copies of it. But if you release something, there needs to be something. I don't know what, but like if you're a Taylor Swift fan and you've bought the vinyl, right? Don't then just buy it in red, and if you need to, that's fine. You're a fan, but for me, from an artist perspective, how the hell do you sleep at night to go, oh, I made another 10 million because I changed the fucking color of the plastic it's printed on?
I think
I'm not into that. But if it was like, if she was like, okay, but what I've done is, like, for Taylor Swift, let's say this tour, IAAS tour, massive tour, right? Okay, now there's a vinyl you can get, and there's pictures and stories, and you know what I mean? You get shit. You need to get shit from it. That's the point. For me, it's like when we have a product, how do we rehash it? I'm not into that. But if you can find a way of being like, okay, here is what the product is.
Yeah, it's kind of the same.
Or something.
It's kind of the same. Like, I don't know if they exist anymore, but when you used to go to like midnight launches of games.
Yes.
And you'd cool get the game, but you would for queuing up and being there at midnight to buy the game at launch, you'd get like a bunch of cool stuff, like a goodie bag full of stuff, like Fallout T-shirts or whatever, like, or whatever game you happen to be buying, just cool stuff.
It needs to be like content in the game as well.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
So yeah, no, I think we're on the same page. I think it's acceptable to a certain point, but most of the time it's just scum. It's a bit of a scummy move.
Yeah, I agree. And the point is, what makes it acceptable is that you need to give something to the people that are doing that. I really wish I liked Billie Eilish's music, because every time I see her do anything, I think she's cool as hell.
No, this is the thing.
She's such a cool person.
Absolutely no problem with her. Again, I think she's in a sea of absolutely miserable role models. I don't think there's anything wrong with Billie Eilish.
No.
Every time I've seen her give an interview or whatever, she seems fairly level-headed,
genuine.
Yeah,
and
I just don't like her music.
No, but I've said so many times, she's a great example of what I want pop music to be. Even though I don't like it, she is not the same. If you put like Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift and all of these different artists together, you just hear the same sound. And then Billie Eilish makes music and it's completely unique. So I love that. It's not my cup of tea, but I love when people can make unique music like
that. Cool. So the next, I wanted to call out The Guardian.
Yeah, call them out,
because they had a headline that just read, Beyonce's new Jolene cover is a masterpiece. or a piece of masterwork. It's masterpiece.
Master Chief.
I'll listen to it. It's just a box standard, absolute minimal cover of.
I didn't even know.
Oh, no, it wasn't even Jolene. It was Blackbird. Sorry, Blackbird from the Beatles, right? And it is literally
it's a masterpiece.
It's just so box standard. It's unreal. And I'm like,
Can I listen to a bit?
I just want, if you want, I just wanted to call it out because for the Guardian to call it a masterpiece just shows me that you just can't listen to anything the Guardian says.
I would also.
It's don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on it. It's fine, but it's about as box standard as a cover gets.
I would also shout out. Usually, I would shout out IAAS Music, our reviews channel. I've had a couple of weeks off. It's been mental. I've not been sleeping. My kid's been up. So we will get back on track with that. We've got a bunch of things planned. But I'll just quickly check it out. Okay, so that's the riff.
I mean, that's just
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. For this moment to rise. Blackbird singing to fly. Dark black.
Yeah, I mean,
it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. But to call it a masterpiece,
yeah, I agree.
just
not
come
enough's
on.
happened. Not enough's
Come on,
happened.
there's like barely any change.
I
It's
thought it'd
just,
be like.
no, this is what I mean.
And then some fucking
but then
crazy.
she also did a Jolene cover, right?
Yeah.
And I know about this because there was a headline of Jolene urges fans to listen to the original Jolene. Dolly Parton urges fans to listen to the original Jolene.
Yeah.
While they're waiting for it, I think because she's like, please give me some more streams, give me some more money before Beyonce inevitably kills my song. And I mean in terms of views, because
everyone would just listen to that version.
Yeah, because now people will just listen to the Beyonce version.
Oh, my leg's dead. This is a risky game.
And I've got to say, I listened to the Beyonce. Let's listen to Jolene as well. Awful.
Wait, you want me to?
Awful.
You want me to?
You don't have to listen to a lot of it. There's one thing in particular that I just can't get past. I can't get past, and it happens immediately.
Early doors?
Early
Okay,
doors.
good.
Early doors.
What were you doing? Jolene?
Yeah.
Jolene, Beyonce. Yeah, it's the top search. Just one.
It's miserable.
I put Jolene and it came up immediately.
Miserable.
Oh, same little cover intro. That's fucking stupid, isn't it? what are you doing? That's like a fucking
Jolene.
That's like a DJ Khaled, but it's
Jolene.
She's not even
But the
saying
thing is,
Beyonce.
though, throughout the song, there's just like some bloke with the button, the Jolene button, and it's just like Jolene.
I thought I didn't play because I assumed it wouldn't happen before.
I mean, apart from that, it's pretty box standard. There's Jolene's thrown in every once in a while.
Right. Yeah.
Miserable. Absolutely miserable.
Do you know what it is?
And do you know what, though? Do you know what annoys me? Is this time next year, there'll be articles about how absurd it is that Beyonce hasn't won another fucking Grammy for this album.
The what?
Like, whatever. Because like, people are mad because she didn't win a Grammy or whatever for the best album.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, she's won the most amount of Grammys, but never
it's
won
miserable.
the best album.
I flicked through some songs. I'm like, it's just regular crappy Beyonce stuff.
Oh god, we're gonna get the Beehive.
I don't care.
Bee Army?
I don't care. Like, I don't
No,
understand. Beyonce is one of the best performers out there, right? She's made some incredible songs.
Yeah.
This is so mid. It's unreal. It's just, and that. Bearing in mind, this is coming from someone that's just not a fan of Beyonce type music,
Really?
right? But I still like, I can acknowledge.
Yeah.
Some of the other stuff is way better than this.
Yeah.
Way better.
I think the problem is, and this happened. Was it Jay-Z? So her fella came up and was like, "How can the person who's won the most amount of Grammys or whatever not have the album of the year, never win the album of the year. And it's like, well, because she doesn't make albums. She doesn't make good albums. People that say Lemonade is a good album is like, you're a baby. you're a child.
No, there's 2 or 3 songs on there that are really good.
Yeah, and the album isn't good. The album isn't good. I listened to it once and I was like, this isn't a good album. It's not fun to listen to. It's not enjoyable. I feel like, and some of my favourite bands have done it as well, where they try to be so artsy that then you're not listening to a good music album. And I get music is art, but I also... That is shit, isn't it? Fucking hell.
I'm so happy that you picked up on it as well, because I intentionally didn't want to say what it was, just to see if you were like had the same response.
If I was listening going, yep, that's fine. Where's the bad part? No, that's a joke. It's atrocious, isn't it?
It's so bad. Honestly, I don't understand. And the thing is as well, right? If you take out the Jolene, right? If you take that out,
it's fine.
It's fine.
It's
fine. It's just a regular box standard.
What it is,
if anything, lazy cover, but it's fine.
What that is for me, right? Both of those covers are you go to an open mic, right? And it's not been great, and then someone comes on and you go, they're pretty good, right? But they're just covering a song. Yeah. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be like, they are going to be the best artists in the world, because you're just covering a song. And if you're covering a song, right, I'll throw out, what's it, Dancing on My Own, the Robin song.
Yeah.
Kings of Leon covered it, and it was phenomenal. The reason why it was phenomenal is because they took a very different song
and they
put it in their style. They changed it massively. That's how you do covers. That's how you successfully do covers. Is you have to change it.
That have been like, yeah, but Beyonce added the Jolene.
That is true. To be fair, she turned it into a DJ Khaled song. Or who's the other person that always just shouts their name? I can't remember.
Jean Paul?
I wanted to say Jean Paul, but I don't think it is.
I feel like every song he says, at some point he says, I'm Jean Paul.
Oh, God. Is there any more news, or are we...
Nah, that's pretty much it.
Let's listen to some bands then. I did have a few things that I was going to share, but I think they'll just destroy the laptop if I play them. So instead, we're going to go to LA, the Sunshine State. Is LA the Sunshine State? I think I've got that wrong. What is the Florida? Okay, it's not.
That makes sense.
Missed. LA. I don't know what state it is.
Crackden State.
Yeah, that is true. Don't they have the what's it called?
Crack camps?
No.
They may have like massive like
Skid Row.
Yeah.
Anyway, probably not from Skid Row, but they're from LA. This is Buddha Trixie. Any genre guess?
I mean, it's got to be rap, surely.
It feels like you're probably right. The artwork is very Simsy.
7-Eleven.
That's the name of the song, but the artwork is very Simsy as well. Don't know if you can see that. Shout out Sims. We always love Sims. Here we go. This is 7-Eleven by Buddha Trixie. Oh, fuck's sake. Why am I not signed into Spotify? Help me be.
Jolene. I want to get a Jolene button.
We should. Here we go.
Discount the others, throw out the rule book. You're the only one I can turn to. You're not like the others. Flimsy and burdened, so predetermined. No disarray or depth on my life yet. I'm a lucky fellow. But everybody loves it till they hate you. Everybody loves it till they hate you too. Everybody loves it till they hate you. Everybody loves it till they hate you too.
Fucking. Okay, sorry, I went over a minute. That's fucking awesome,
Mate, honestly, that was so good.
That is one
Even
of.
caught me by the surprise at the end there as well.
Sorry, and then I got distracted
Because they were quite Simsy.
They did this whole post of like the Pacific Northwest treating us so well we turned into a PS2 game. I then was just listening to I was just listening to the song, but I completely got distracted.
It's so good. It was really good.
It's amazing and phenomenal. Right
really
on my alley.
Like, immediately, right, I was like, this could be on a FIFA.
Yeah.
This could be a FIFA soundtrack. But then more than that, it was just really, like, the really interesting dynamic range, like, really sort of mixed it up. Yeah. Like, really tempo change and...
I love it so much.
Yeah, really, really clean, really good. I loved it.
They're absolutely crushing it at the moment. I don't know what is happening with my computers. All of my internet things have gone mental for some reason. There's no feedback. Shout out to Billie Trixie. Go check them out. They are currently on tour with someone. Fuck's sake. Okay, nothing is loaded. I'm falling apart. Wild Party. Who I actually don't know who that is, but they seem like a slightly bigger band. Just clearly crushing it. I love that sound so much.
I loved it.
I'm going to be listening to that. That is, I will say, I was thinking about, obviously we did the award show last year, and just these phenomenal artists, right? And there are artists now that, like, I think I said I got a little playlist from Apple Music that was like, here are your most listened, and I think the 3 most featured artists were from discovering. This year, I think there's been like maybe a genre switch of people that have been applying that means that a lot of the songs don't resonate with me. That does.
Yeah, and I think, like you say, like quite often I'll really, really like a song, right? But I'll still sit there and go, I think it's just missing something here, or there's something I would do differently.
Yeah.
With that, like, honestly, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing I would change. Like, I feel like as much dynamic range as you had, and as much, like, you had lots of different things happening, everything sat perfectly in the mix.
Yeah.
Like, everything was really solid.
That was awesome. That's one of my favourite submissions this year so far. We'll see what happens. So thank you, Billie Trixie. Our next one is Erotiq from Rome. Erotiq. There was an accent on the E and on the I. So
God knows.
Erotica. Yeah, so Erotiq from Rome. Any genre guesses?
It's hard because I thought the last one with the Trixie had such a rap name. Right?
Billie Trixie.
Yeah.
It did, yeah.
And nowhere near rap.
Erotiq. I would say electro. Like some form of electronic produced music, but I'm probably going to be wrong again.
I'm going to guess, right?
Guess.
It's a wild stab in the dark. The sort of like weird music you get in like an adult film. In an erotic film.
Oh, like some like...
Yeah.
Lots of whammy bars.
Yeah.
And, this is Ton mal, mon bien, which means you're bad, my good, I think. I don't know. Which is French. That's not from Rome.
De Vichy, je me souviens, mes yeux m'étalent, je suis un joli bébé. De 2003, dans mes poches, que du cash. Un tonneau se cache, le ciel me baisse dans mon jardin. De Vichy, je me souviens, mes yeux m'étalent, je suis un joli bébé. De 2003, dans mes poches, que du cash. Un tonneau se cache, le ciel me baisse dans mon jardin. Le tour des acides.
That's a minute.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I like the sound though. It sounded cool, smooth.
I don't know if I've absolutely botched it. I don't know how much YouTube watches compared to listens to the things we say. But it's quite, I don't know, their Instagram has a lot of quite edgy stuff on it. It felt erotic.
It would be interesting to see where the song goes, because I feel like it could build quite well. It could be quite a big sound.
Could have a build up in tempo maybe, some switch. Yeah.
But I mean, it was
interesting.
Just, again, not a lot of feedback. But yeah, I think it just sounded pretty good.
Yeah, agreed.
Solid.
Agreed. It's always one of those things with like production. It has to be quite obvious for us because I'm not a technical producer at all. I just can hear things. You know what I mean? I always want to give the feedback. I've had this conversation before actually with someone who has challenged me when I've given them feedback on a song, and it was because the first part of the song was amazing, and then nothing happened, and I was like, something needs to happen. It just got a bit boring. And they were like, kind of challenged the fact of who I was to give that feedback. This was in person as well, and I just said to them, someone who listened to the song. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? When people listen to your music, they will be the best. They're the best person to tell you.
And it's like there's a kind of elitism that exists, and I think it's especially when it's feedback that's given to something you've created.
Yeah. Where
then you're like, well, who are you to, judge my music? But then it's also like, well, who are you to make the music?
Yeah. Do you
know what I mean? What are we doing here? Like you're not like a music mogul, right? I'm not a music mogul. We're just two people that make music, listen to music, that share an opinion.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with the opinion. You can sit there and go, I disagree. That's fine.
Yeah, 100%.
But who are you to make the music?
I will also say the best feedback I've ever had from people have been drunk dudes that have come up to me. They're not, and they go, oh, I don't do music at all. But the song that went, and they sing a bit of a song, and they go, that's one of the best things I've ever. And I'm like, that matters. That's important. Not like the musical mastermind. It's like, oh, when you went from 7/8 to no, I don't fucking care. Yeah. I have this problem with. Do you know? I don't know if you know much about Jacob Collier, right?
I've never heard of that.
Jacob Collier. You might know him if you saw him because he gets videos go viral. If I pull that up on the big screen, so it's this lad, this happy chappy, right? Wears lots of cardigans. He's basically. He's a musical genius, right? Maybe that's too much to say, but in terms of musical theory, he is really
compared with the Do.
He's autistic, basically. No, so compared with the Do, is that he could sing the difference between 3,000 hertz frequency and 3,050 hertz frequency.
Okay,
and he does all
so
the
it's
stuff
like irrelevant stuff.
And this is the thing. So he can there's videos of him where he'll tap time signatures. He does a thing where he can tap like a 1/1 and a 2/2 and a 3/4, and he'll tap them all different on his fingers, and each finger stays in time. Great, but if you listen to his music, it's not that good. It's really not that good. Yeah, and all of the comments are divided because there's people that they buy into it and they go, "You just don't understand it, man." And I'm like, okay. No, what's happening is they're listening to it with their ears and they're going, "That doesn't even sound that great though." So he's this brilliant mind, but it doesn't translate to good music.
Again, it's a difference between like being technically, you can be really good at playing an instrument, like, from a technical side of it. But then there are also people that are like that technically they can play anything, right? But they can't play without a metronome.
Sure, yeah.
Because they physically don't have the natural thing that some people have. That means they can they've got rhythm, they've got timing, they've got a sense of music.
The sense of music part of a different ilk, or it could be someone plays a solo on a song, and it's one of the most complicated, hardest solos ever to play, and not a single part of it is wrong. It stays in the right key, and it uses, but you'd listen to it and go, no, that doesn't work, because the musical sense goes, actually, put some reverb on it and do a big wow wow, and do some simple shit, right, and not.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
It's like how you can either sing or you can't sing, right? And what I mean is, obviously, people will be like, "Well, you can learn to sing," and I'm like, "You can't. You can train to improve your voice and to improve your singing.
Yeah,
but you can either sing or you can't sing." And what I mean by that,
like, what are you on about?
No, but what I mean by that is there are physically people that have no concept of tone or pitch.
Yeah.
And you can't. That's what I mean. I don't think you can teach that. You can't teach someone to have tone or pitch or timing.
I think timing is a big one as well.
How many times have you ever been in a situation where someone is like, "Oh, what's that song? What's that song?" And you're like, "Oh, I don't know." And they're like, "Let me hum it for you." And they're just like, and you're like, "That doesn't sound like anything." Yeah. And then you eventually get the song, and you're like, "Teenage Dirtbag."
Yeah. It's I've Got Bills.
Yeah. And you're like, well, I don't know how you didn't I don't know how you didn't get one note correct at all. And that's what I mean. I think some people just don't have any musical ability whatsoever. And that's fine. I think there's just different brain patterns. Like, people just are good at different things. Sometimes you don't have what that sense of music is.
I don't know if I've told this before. When I was in music college, I won't say who it was, even though fucking who cares, but there was a girl, really lovely girl, and she had a lovely voice, right? And she taught herself how to play guitar, so she could do guitar and singing. And in music college, you do lots of different, you do a production course, management course, and then there's a performance course. And in the performance course, you would do these, like, to show your progress, you would have to perform, and then at the end, you'd put on a performance of these songs. I can't remember what the song was that she played. Creep. It was Creep by Radiohead, actually, I do remember. And she meant to put the capo on the 1st fret, but she put it on the 2nd fret, right? And she played... And to this day, I do not understand how
she stayed in the same key.
Sung in F.
Oh my!
Yeah, she sung in F, but the guitar was in F.
I don't even know how you do that.
She did the whole song, and everyone was like,
"So that's actually impressive."
It was so impressive,
that's really impressive in the worst way possible. And that's what I mean, though. That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Because I physically wouldn't be able to do that because I would, just subconsciously.
Yeah. Yeah,
I would sing I would adjust to be in the right key.
Sometimes when I've got it wrong, I'll get to a part of the song and it'll go a bit skewy, right? Because I'm like, I can't find where the jump is. But to do that, she did the whole song.
Honestly,
and everyone was like,
it's more impressive.
Honestly,
that's more impressive to me than singing it in the right key.
And she ended it. And was waiting. She was like, "How did I do?" And everyone was like, "What the fuck?" And the teacher of the class was like, he was like, "You put the capo in the wrong place." And she's like, "Oh, did I?" And then he's like, "Yeah, but you still sung it in the other key." And then she put it on the right key, and she sung it again, and it was brilliant. But I do not understand how her brain could remember the key so well. But not hear it.
I don't
hear these horrendous.
I don't understand.
As soon as she started singing, everyone in the room was like, "Whoa!" But she kept going. It was insane. Anyway, I don't know what the I don't know what the point was there. But my point was sometimes people can give feedback really highly technical, but you would just want feedback from people listening. But it wasn't even relevant to the person that just played. So it's Rito Futurito. Rito Futurito from Edinburgh.
I thought you were going to say Portugal or something.
No, they're from Edinburgh. But they may be of a different descent. I don't know if they are, but they say they're just from Edinburgh. You've got a guess? Do you want to guess?
R&B. Wild. Guess.
Electronic.
Absolute wild, but I'm going to go R&B.
I haven't checked if any of these specified when they wanted me to play. But I don't think they did. Erotiq did. So sorry, Erotiq. I think I messed that up. But okay, here we go. This is Decian by Rito Futurito.
Decían que no podías volver atrás. Mírate ahora. Paseando por el mundo como si fueras contemporáneo. Decían que no podías volver atrás. Mírate ahora. Paseando por el mundo, dime qué hora, dime qué año.
It's what a curious little
really
song.
Really interesting sound. Almost kind of like a bit of a jazz undertone to it.
Yeah, very jazzy. I felt like at the start, I felt like I was riding a bike down the south of France. There'd be a goat in the town. Mm-hmm. That was the vibe I got. Very Mr. Bean's holiday. I don't know why. Yeah, it was really good, and it was so loose, but like in a good way. Do you know what I mean? Everything was everything was quite syncopated, and it wasn't like really rigidly but it was still structured well. I was hoping it would get somewhere, and it did. This little last bit has gone somewhere. I'm giving it nudges. It's just so interesting.
Yeah, the only thing I would say
I don't think they're Scottish.
No. The only thing I would say is the kind of double track vocals.
We comment on that a lot, don't we? Sometimes it's unnecessary.
I don't know if it's a problem here, but I imagine if it's the whole song, it might be a problem.
You get bored of it, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Skip some vocals. I don't think it suits the little...
I don't know if it just takes me out of it a little bit.
I know. Yeah. Sometimes double track vocals are great, but I think usually it can be for emphasis.
Yeah,
or for
you
like
break
a
it up in
step.
a chorus or something, or
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing I would say, but it doesn't ruin the song for me. It just, I think there's times when I'm focusing so much on the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
But apart from that, like I said, it
was a lovely little song.
Really, really nice,
delightful little song. There we go. Thank you for the submissions. We appreciate it. You keep the show alive. You keep it fun. Because we're dead. But yeah, no. Well, I've got a few ideas that I'm going to pitch to you off air of things that we can do to keep the fire alive. You know what I mean? It's like being in a long-term relationship. You got to mix it up every now and again. We'll start a show with ball gags on or something. Ooh. Well, that's what we did, didn't we? Like episode 30 something. We had Jimmy Sims on.
Long time ago.
I know. Yeah, I want to rebuild though. You need to keep bubbling it up. Get a few hundred views per episode again, and then we can fucking get some cool people on.
Days when we had
it was really good.
Couple of thousand.
Look at us. We'll get there. Again. I'm fuck YouTube. The perfect thing to say on YouTube, but yeah. Anything else? Anything you want to add to bring to the table? Do you see the story of it's from, you see, I don't know where Lewes is. Lewes. Is it Wales, maybe? I don't know. But there was a thing in a prison there that loads of people just got poisoned.
I saw that. There's a mass burial ground. Like at the back of the prison. They found like a massive graveyard.
Wait, no, I don't know if that's the same thing.
There's a different thing then.
What?
There's a different thing. There was
in the UK?
I want to say UK. Maybe it was America.
There's 15 people had to be treated after suspected, they said food poisoning, and then there were reports that it was like a drug thing, that like maybe it was laced with drugs, and then they were like, no. But apparently it was like intentionally contaminated food. So loads of people were ill. You had a prison mass grave.
Yeah.
It is not. What? What the hell? 215 bodies known to the police found in unmarked graves behind a jail in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, man.
What?
It's unreal.
That is crazy.
A mass grave in a prison. And it like with people that like have not been reported as,
but known to the police. What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know. That's what I thought you were talking about because I saw something about a mass grave.
That is crazy. Right. Well, join us next week for more hot news. Yeah. We'll see you later. Oh yeah. Bye.
I need to poop.